Good morning, everyone, again. My name is Collins. You are Okoye. You are welcome to the Pimbrook webinar again, webinar on Sage 50 accounts version 27 new features. Just a bit of housekeeping this morning. We have a very large group, so everyone is going to be on mute. We will have some time at the end of the session for some questions and answers. You will also see a chat box at the end of your screen. If you have any question, you can just type them here and we will get to them at the end of the session. If you have additional questions or answer, if we don't get to them at the end of the session, please just email support@pimbrook.ie, or you can give us a call on 051-395-900 and we will respond to your question. This is going to be our agenda for today. We are purely today looking at the new features in version 27.1. Some of the things you will find in this version will be the new tax codes required for UK and Ireland, country code, the new commercial invoice required when you are trading with the UK, improvement to the user management, the custom alerts, and the improvement to the Help Center. So we are going to kick this off to this morning on what you need to do before you upgrade to this version. It is important that when you want to upgrade to this version of Sage, that you make sure that the regional settings on the computer is properly set to the correct region. If you're based in the UK, your regional settings should be set to United Kingdom. If you're based in Ireland, your regional settings should be set to Ireland. Now, the first thing again, before you upgrade, check your regional settings, take a backup of your software, and then you can run the software installation. Once you run the software installation, you convert your company. Again, the regional settings set up correctly. Some of the things you have to go into the software to check are as follows. You need to identify your UK Northern Ireland customers, suppliers, amend their VAT codes, enter the EORI number. The country codes need to be changed. Identify all your import and export products, stocks, and ensure that you now have all their right commodity codes entered into the system. Now, the UK has left the EU, so you have to go and untick the box, for the EU country, because in the previous version, UK is set up as an EU country, so this box will have to be unticked in this new version. Now, like I said before there, it's important that you correct your regional settings before opening this your data. Once you install this version, the system will automatically create 5 new codes if your region is set to United Kingdom. So version 27 introduces 5 new codes. They will go from T15 to T19. And this again is to make them record a transaction to the EU and non-EU country. So by default, again, it should go from T15 to T19. And that's what these codes will look like. T15 is purchase of services from rest of the world. T16, again, is purchase of services with no VAT. T18 is postponed import of goods, postponed VAT accounting. And T19 will be your imports of goods again for VAT, not postponed accounting. Similar to the United Kingdom, if your region is set to Republic of Ireland, you should have 12 new codes come in once you open your company after installing these updates. Now, by default, again, these 12 new codes should go from T39 to T50. Now, don't worry, if you're already using T39 to T50, the system will just skip to the next available 12 codes. So because these 12 codes, they have to be after each other. So assuming you are using T39 and T50, for instance, now from T39 to T50, there's no, and there's not available 12 space in between. So the system will just start from T51 to create the next available 12 codes. So these codes should come up automatically again if your original settings are set up properly. And these are the codes that you require to trade with the UK properly. Once the conversion has been done, the codes created, to check this, you can go log into your Sage program, go to settings, configuration, task codes, and you should see all these new codes set up on your system. Now, one thing to note, Republic of Ireland has a temporary VAT code, which is reduced from 23 to 21. Now, all these new codes that are being created, they will all be created at a standard 23%. So what will happen is that the moment you do the conversion, check your codes, all is correct, you will have to set up 2 additional codes that you can temporarily use 21% on to allow you record it again transaction properly. So we're just going to look at a couple of things there that you need to be aware. If you're trading goods with the UK, postponed accounting has now been introduced to help manage with cash flow. And postponed accounting as well can be used for other non-EU countries, not just the UK, it can be used for other non-EU countries. If you're selling goods to the UK again is no longer in the EU, so they should be treated as the rest of the world. Before, when they were previously or EU countries, it used to be T4. But because they're no longer in the EU, T14 is now the new codes to use for selling goods to the UK. Now, the Northern Ireland Protocol, it's a little bit different when you're trading with Northern Ireland. Now, for Northern Ireland, if you're trading goods with Northern Ireland, from January 2021, it should still continue to be treated as EU intra-EU acquisition. Because of the Northern Ireland Protocol, the Northern Ireland is still included within the EU, so you continue to treat selling goods to Northern Ireland or buying goods to them under the intra-EU acquisition. So you still continue to use your T4. That doesn't change at all if you're selling goods to Northern Ireland or trading with Northern Ireland. Now, if you're selling services to Northern Ireland, then that is different. Services are not classified under the Northern Ireland Protocol, so you have to use T14 going forward. So if you're selling any services to Northern Ireland, that should be T14. You previously used to be T22. That's now changed to T14. And the same thing with the UK. If you're selling goods to the UK, it used to be previously again T22. T14 is what you should use going forward. Buying services again from Northern Ireland, from UK and Northern Ireland, rest of the world. Previously T23, T21 is the one to use going forward. Now, I know we're just saying T21, T23. For what the meaning of all these T codes, we do have a knowledge-based article that we explain all these things to you. If you send us an email or ring support, we will give you a link to where you can find all this code and what the meaning and what you should be using them for. Version 27.1 has a new template. If you're dealing with UK, if you're selling goods to UK, there is now a template that is required for you to be able to be allowed into the UK. And it's called a commercial invoice. This template is included in version 27.1. Now, some of the things you will see on this template is the EORI number again. The commodity code is now required. The country of origin is required, and the weight as well. Again, we have a knowledge-based article where you can freely download this template if you are on version 26, for instance, but version 27, it should come up automatically once you install this update. That's the knowledge-based article. We can send that out to you if you give us a call again or send us an email. Now, this is what the commercial invoice layout looked like. So as you can see there, just in the middle there, the country of origin is now a requirement. The HS tariff code, which is the commodity code, is now a requirement. All these are all on this template. There's no need to customize or change anything. Customization might just be you want to put in your logo and all those things. We can allow and just put all those for you at the top. But the template comes with everything that is required when trading with the UK. And that's what the bottom section looks like. Your declaration statements, everything again that is required, the total net weight in kilograms, all those things are there on the template. 2 new country codes have been included in this version 27.1. UK again is no longer in the EU, so we now have a new country code for them, which is XU. Northern Ireland is XI. So again, it's important that you go in and take the relevant country code, again, depending on who you are trading with. Now, remember that if you are taking this country code, this only starts from the 1st of January. So, in order for you to do your VIS return and all interest start for up to December 2020, you have to untick all the new codes in order to do this properly and tick them for as member of EU. Now, the country codes, where do you correct this? If you're trading in Northern Ireland, for instance, you go to settings, company preferences. Under the country code there, you select Northern Ireland, or if you're trading in UK, you select your country code, the appropriate country code. Now, another new improvement that is in the version is the user management. Now, one of the things they've done in user management, or one of the things we get a lot, is that previously, if you are using Sage Drive or the remote access, you have to set up this in 2 places. One is the management center and one within your Sage program. So what they've done in this now version is to bring everything under one place now called user management. In version 26, for instance, you only have access rights, settings access right. Manager can log into that and set up any username. They can restrict their modify access rights, and it said give them the level of access they want. But in version 27, you can actually have 3 types of users now. The standard user, which is similar to what you used to be able to do under manager in version 26 and below. In version 27, you can have an accountant user, and this accountant user can actually create another accountant or other many accountant users as well. So what will happen before is that you set up a username for your accountant. Your accountant goes away, and that's the only username they will have. Imagine in an accountant practice where you have many people, using the same company, so they only have one username. So what this version does is that if you have an accountant user, that accountant user can actually create new accountant users as well. Just for other people within the office if they need to log into the same company. We now have an administrator user, which is more or less the same level as previously manager. Manager is still there. Manager is still the overall, administrator, But below the manager, we now have administrator. An administrator can actually create new usernames, and they can assign access right as well. So if you don't remember your manager, password, you can still use the administrator, and bear in mind, all this can be reset as well. Now, the remote access, like I was saying earlier on, what used to happen is that if you have a username and you have to set somebody on Sage Drive or give them remote access, there is an additional step in version below that you need to log into the Sage Management Center, put in the person's email address and name, and then they are allowed now to create a remote access user for themselves. That is no longer the case. Once you set up a user in Sage, you can actually highlight the user, press the edit button, and allow them remote access. So once you tick this, it will ask for the person's name, email address, and that is remote access granted. Everything in one location. The management center is now completely gone. Now, this is another one improvement that's very good. Even up to yesterday, I still had a couple of customers that have forgotten their encryption password using Sage Drive or the remote access. And what used to happen is that if you cannot remember the encryption password, unfortunately, it's one of those that cannot be reset. What that means is that Sage Drive will be taken down completely and then reset up again. So imagine if you have 10 remote users, everything will have to be done again. And that is downtime for everybody. So what they've done again in this version is you will now be able to retrieve your encryption password. So if you've forgotten your encryption password, go to settings, remote data access, put in your password there, and the encryption password will now display. So it's no longer a case of taking Sage Drive and resetting it up again. Encryption password can now be retrieved, which is very good. Another new feature that's been included again in this version is a custom alert. Now, the custom alert is used to place information in customer, supplier, or product record so that when users are entering invoices, for instance, they're able to see information. So it's an effective tool to share important information and in a timely way, or a reminder in a timely way. So the moment the user goes in, select the customer, supplier, or product, the information should flash and let them know. It could be that whoever is ordering the product need to quote a password or something. You get that information straight away before you go on and process your invoice. Now, to set up the custom alert, we're just going to use the customer for this session. In customer, suppliers, and product, again, the moment you go to edit any of those, you will see a new button now that's now added there called alert. So for a customer alert, for instance, you can set up the display alert in the format of embedded onto an invoice or as a pop-up. And these are the places you can see this. You can display them on an invoice, a quote, or sales order. So I've put a customer alert there on my system, and that's what my alert saves. It's active. I save it. Now, this is what's going to happen. The moment I go into do an invoice for this customer, I select my customer. It pops up straight away for me. They're telling me, what I need to know, and that the customer needs to quote a password. This is embedded. The first one there, the previous one, this is a pop-up, and this one is embedded. So you can display them in form of a pop-up or embedded. Now, also, you can place multiple alerts. It doesn't have to be one, just one. You can have up to 10, 15 alerts on a customer or supplier product account. And again, it's up to you the way you want to display them. If it's pop-up, this is the way it's going to come up. The moment you click on got it, this next one will pop up. And you can do pop-up and embedded, and this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have the pop-up at the top and embedded at the bottom. And you can do multiple embedded as well. So it's up to you, but they are all there. You can either do it embedded or pop-up. Now, another improvement they've added to this version of Sage is the help file or the help center. In Sage now, if you go to File and Help Center, it takes you basically to a search or a window on Sage website where you can just type in what you're looking for. If you just put in how to process a Sage purchase order, for instance, that should give you a list of options, and then you can select the purchase order processing, for instance, and then once you click on that article, it will display the page for you, and you are able to follow the article yourself or read up on it if you want. Now, lastly, what they've done as well is the auto update improvement. Means future updates are now simplified with just one click. What does that mean? Once you install version 27.1 or version 27, if there's any additional updates, the system we identify here at the end of the installation, pick the update up for you and install. So with just one click, you can just install any updates that is required. Now we've come to the end of the session, and this is question and answer time. So if anybody has any question, please again, just put it at the bottom, at the chat box there at the end of your screen. So I'm going to just allow like about 5 minutes just for questions to come up, and then we just try to answer some of these questions. Hello. Okay. All right. So we're going to start the answering some of these questions now, because there's a lot of them coming in. If I don't get to the answer yours, please, I will get back to you through email, or again, you can send us an email or give us a call. All right. The first question I've got there from someone that says, where is the commodity code on the new commercial invoice? It's just directly, I know I can go back now, but it's definitely directly, is there at the bottom. Just let me see if I can show you this now, sorry. Okay, you see where it say HS tariff code? That is where you will find the commodity code on the commercial invoice. All right, the next question that I have here is, if we currently use Sage Drive, do we need to change this? Not at all. If you use Sage Drive, just remain again, nothing needs to be changed at all. Everything is still the same thing. I've got another question. We are selling goods to the UK that is VATable. Which code is appropriate so as to the VAT element be drawn into the correct VAT? Again, if you're selling goods to the UK under postponed accounting, there are 12 new codes, and you just need to double check if it's a standard or whichever one, but it's one of those codes that you need to use going forward. You know, those codes are there for dealing with any transaction now with the UK. Okay, 1 second. I've got another one there. Can I still post all transactions into Sage with your old tax code except for UK? Another until upgrade is done? Yes, you can. You can still post transaction with the old tax codes except for UK and Ireland until you upgrade. I've got another question there. I have the temporary tax code 21 set up as T39T40. The new updates won't replace this if I start the new codes from T41. No, once your original settings is correct and you run the new update, it should not replace your T39, T40. What the system will do again is look for the next available 12 blocks and then set up the new codes from there going forward. I've got another question there, which says, where do you access the commodity code for the product you are selling, say to Northern Ireland? The commodity code you probably get from revenue or from your suppliers or whoever you are dealing with. But in Sage accounts, under products and services, there is definitely a box where you can put in your commodity code to show up on your invoice. So I've got another question there. On the new commercial invoice, where is the wage details taken from to appear on your on the invoice? The wage is taken from your product or stock record. In the stock record, there's a box there where you put in, you know, if it's kilogram, whatever unit that you're selling in. Now, I've got another question for customer pop-up. If you use a different system to process invoices, e.g. a third party, can the alert be displayed? The answer should be yes, as long as when you transfer the information and this is in Sage, the moment you go to the invoice and select the customer in question or the suppliers, that alert should pop up. It's put in there that the moment you select customer or suppliers, the alert pops up. I've got another one there. Can goods and services rest of the world import have one VAT code? The answer is no, because you could have standard, you could have exempt. So that's why you could have non-resale. So that's why you have all these different codes, depending again on, if it's resale, non-resale, zero, and so on. Now, unfortunately, I will not be able to get to all these questions, answer some of all these questions. So what I'm going to do is take down some of these things, and I may have to get back to some of you in email. I've got another one that we can quickly take. Is remote access to Sage available in all Sage application, or do you require a license? Not at all. It's available on all Sage as long as you are using version 24 and 24.2 and above. You have the option there for Sage Drive, but remote data access, which is the new one, is just available from version 27 going up. I've got a quick last one that we're going to take now. Will the usual invoice format still be there? In other words, can you choose your invoice format? The answer is yes. The new commercial invoice is just additional to what you already have. Your invoice template should still be there. It will not be overwritten. You just have a new format there to use, for you when you're trading with the UK. Again, because of our time, what I'm going to do again is I will take down some of these questions, and I may have to come back to some of you in email. Or again, if you can just give us a call. I want to thank you all for your time today. Thank you very much. And please, if you have any question, just give us a call again on 051 395 900, or if you send us email to support@pimbrook.ie. Thank you all.